Ah, the good old days. This is the majority of the delinquents I associated with throughout high school. When looking back at this picture, two things come to mind. One, our hair was awesome. Two, how the hell did I not end up in jail? My hometown, Plainville, Connecticut. What a great place to grow up in. There are great schools and a ton of great kids to hang out with. And like all New England towns, there's nothing to do. My friends and I all live very close together, which could have been part of the problem. I lived on the very top of West Broad, closest to the next town over. On the same street is Terrell, my black best friend that will go down in history as the whitest kid you will ever meet. 2 streets over is Matt Venturo, the so-called ringleader of the entire debacle. Down the street was Stages and D'Onofrio, or Knopf. Jake lived across town as well as Jesse, John, and George. Still no more than a half-hour walk. Right in between all of us was the Ralston brothers, Craig and Matt. These kids were all insanely fun to hang out with, and we had one thing in common. We all loved to skate. We always had a ton of fun together, never really arguing, and if we did, it was nothing Helmet Tap couldn't take care of. But things don't always stay so easy when you walk around a small town all day just thinking about girls and beer. Eventually, people do some stupid things. Besides me and Knopf, they had all been arrested numerous times before this, but this time I could tell it was different. This was the first car they stole. Nothing more than drunken tomfoolery that they took too far. After that, it turned into a 1-month spree where they did pretty much whatever the hell they wanted. They broke into over 400 cars, or so the newspaper says. Stole 4, which they would drive around until they got nervous and then they'd dump it. They also made off with around 7 credit cards. Once they got the credit cards, they bought a ton of stuff. Cartons of cigarettes, brand new CD players, more beer, and then the cycle continued. This went on for a while, and I remember thinking to myself, how long can this last? And then, sure enough, people started getting arrested. Seemed like once one of them went down, they all did. Terrell got arrested for trying to steal beer from the Stop and Shop up the street for the already gigantic party going on at his house at the time. When the on-duty cop tried to stop him, he threw a shopping cart at him and also got charged with assaulting an officer. Jake got arrested for conspiracy among other things, but eventually hightailed it to Florida. He's been back once in 2 years. Oddly enough, being considered the ringleader doesn't reward much jail time. Matt served the least out of everyone and now lives in Bristol with a few other people. He throws one hell of a party. And out of our entire so-called crew, more than half were either in jail or on permanent grounding. And I'll never forget how uninteresting the last half of that summer was.
Hear the sound